Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. The day before the wedding, Jason died in a car accident. Everyone thought I would be devastated, but I neither cried nor made a fuss. 5 years later, we met by chance at a hotel. He had come back to life but lost his memory, and amid the cheers of a crowd, he kissed his stepsister. Seeing me alone, he smiled smugly. "I heard you're my fiancé. You've been waiting for me for 5 years, and you just can't let go of me. I know you love me to death, considering you've remained pure for me all these 5 years. I can keep you on the side, but my wife can only be Celia. From now on, I'll be with Celia on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and visit you on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Just keep that to yourself and be happy." I did feel happy. "Sorry, you have the wrong person." Jason didn't know that on the night of his car accident, I received a video. He had no idea that during the 5 carefree years he spent with Celia, I had already married another man, and our child was already 4 years old. That man was his own uncle. When I saw Jason again, I didn't expect this scene. He was holding Celia's waist, the two of them pressed closely together, responding to the rising and falling cheers around them, kissing passionately. After a few minutes, Celia's cheeks flushed as she leaned softly against him, teasingly saying, "I give up. You're kissing me so hard I can barely breathe. You're so wild." "I'm not talking to you." Jason nuzzled her neck. "This is wild. You don't even remember who begged me last night." The cheers in the private room grew louder, everyone laughing and teasing, calling her little sister-in-law. Celia pretended to cover his mouth, but her whole body went limp against him. Someone joked, "Jason, it's been 5 years. Isn't Wendy really not caring anymore?" Jason lazily leaned back against the sofa behind him, shrugging indifferently. "Of course I care. I just haven't had enough fun yet. Once Celia and I finish the wedding, I'll naturally regain my memory." Who doesn't know that she loves Jason so much she could almost lick the soles of his feet? Seeing that Jason is still alive, I'm afraid she'll end up like 5 years ago, kneeling on 9,000 steps, praying to the Bodhisattva to bless Jason. Ha ha ha. Just thinking about Wendy's shameless clinginess makes me laugh to death. She's unbeatable at being a simp. I heard she had a miserable time abroad these past 5 years without Jason. She could hardly survive. The laughter in the entire private room almost lifted the roof. I wanted to leave, but someone sharp-eyed saw me. Sister-in-law. The good brother of Jason, who had just loudly called me a simp, awkwardly spoke up. "Jason is still alive. We didn't tell you because he lost his memory and has another woman by his side. We were afraid you couldn't handle it." Yeah, we all know that the woman Jason loves most in his heart is you, but he has forgotten you. Even if you make a scene now, he will only see you as crazy." Before I could speak, Jason sneered. "First, I heard you're the fiancé who loves me to death." Glancing at my plain clothes with disdain, he said, "Without me, how did you end up looking like this? Are you really so obsessed with me?" Jason was still the same Jason, arrogant and unyielding, after 5 years apart. Seeing the secret pride in his eyes, I no longer felt the flutter I once did. Only disgust remained. I had just gotten off the plane and hadn't adjusted to the time difference yet. I came to this hotel only because the strawberry mousse my daughter loves the most is only available here. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, he lazily pulled Celia close and gave her a brief French kiss right in front of me. "Oh, you're so annoying. Big sister is still watching." I pursed my lips, feeling physically uncomfortable. Jason, however, misunderstood my expression and smiled brightly. "What are you afraid of? From now on, you're my wife. If she still wants to follow me, she'll have to get used to it." He raised an eyebrow at me. "Considering you've stayed pure for me these 5 years, I can support you living elsewhere. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'll be with Celia. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I'll come see you, and on Sundays, you'll come take care of us." A group of people immediately chimed in. "Sister-in-law, look. Even though Jason has amnesia, he hasn't forgotten to love you. He still set aside 3 days a week for you." Exactly. These 5 years without Jason, look at you. You don't even look like yourself anymore. You must have done plenty of menial jobs like serving tables and cleaning toilets abroad, right? Just agree quickly. If Jason changes his mind later, even if you kneel and beg, you won't get to see him. Celia linked her arm tightly with Jason's as if to assert her claim and looked at me provocatively. Sister, I don't want this either, but Jason only loves me now, so you'll just have to suffer being the secret mistress. What's a mistress? She can't live without me. If I tell her to die, she'd do it in a flash. My chest felt as if it had been gently pierced by something. 5 years ago, in that car accident, he risked his body as a shield to protect me. Just before closing his eyes, he held my trembling, frightened hand and weakly comforted me over and over. Don't be afraid, darling. Your husband is lucky and won't die. I promised I will always be your faithful guardian. In this life, no one can hurt you. Someone who loved me so much could really become unrecognizable because of amnesia. Suppressing the bitterness in my heart, I took a deep breath and smiled faintly. Sorry, you have the wrong person. I raised the ring on my hand. Besides, I am already married. After a brief moment of silence at the scene, a burst of loud laughter suddenly erupted. Jason raised an eyebrow dismissively. Married to a garbage collector or a street sweeper? Wendy, you don't really think I'd get jealous over such a lame excuse, do you? Are you out of your mind? He grabbed my wrist and before I could react, yanked the ring off my finger. I frowned in pain, about to speak when Celia burst out laughing. Jason isn't. That ring, the one true love your uncle-in-law bought for $2 billion 20 years ago. Sister, you don't mean to say you married your second uncle and became your aunt-in-law, do you? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone laughed even louder. It is well known that the current head of the Jiang family is Jason's younger uncle, Ethan. Although he is only 5 years older than Jason, he is a figure whose name commands great respect. Handsome and wealthy is one thing, but he also loves his wife dearly. They've been married for 5 years, yet no one has ever seen his wife or daughter. He keeps them hidden away tightly. Sister, are you trying to say that you are the wife that our second uncle has been hiding for 5 years? Someone teased while holding the ring. Not gonna lie, this ring looks pretty real. Must have cost quite a bit to fool Jason. Wendy really put in some effort. Facing everyone's doubts and ridicule, I helplessly said, I'm not counterfeiting. This ring is real. Before I could finish speaking, an unexpected slap hit me hard. The burning pain instantly exploding on my cheek. Are you fucking crazy? Of all the people to mess with, you had to pick my uncle. Everyone knows my uncle loves his wife dearly. Do you think he would want a second-hand woman like you, whom even I don't want? If you don't have a mirror, at least piss on something and take a look. I hate women like you who lie out of jealousy. I was really blind before to have fallen for a woman like you. What a disgrace. I covered my face and slowly turned away. Perhaps my gaze was too calm because Jason suddenly looked guilty and averted his eyes. But Celia wouldn't let me off. Sister, Jason has amnesia and still lets you be the other woman. You don't even feel grateful and now you want to harm him? You know my uncle loves his wife the most, yet you dare to pretend to be Jason's aunt. Aren't you just bringing bad luck to him? You're so selfish and vicious. Celia is my stepfather's daughter. On the 7th day after my father's death, still at the morning hall, my mother held my head down and made me accept this younger sister, who is 1 year younger than me. She is like a ghost, unable to tolerate any happiness around me. She takes everything she can steal and destroys what she cannot. 5 years ago, Jason stood before me like a god, coldly rebuking Celia. Now the person in front of me is still the same, but he stands before Celia disdainfully, throwing a wad of cash. After doing so much, isn't it all for the money? Pick it up. The sharp paper cut the corner of my forehead. Tiny beads of blood appeared which I didn't wipe away. But in Jason's eyes, I saw a faint trace of barely noticeable nervousness. The next second I bent down. He immediately sighed in relief and teased with a smile. Is that better? A simp has to act like a simp among a pile of red bills. I picked up a ring thrown in the corner. Jason stared at me in disbelief, a sudden wave of panic rising in his heart. Just as I was about to leave, he suddenly grabbed my hand. Addicted to pretending. Isn't this money enough to buy you a fake worthless ring? I don't understand why he suddenly got so angry. Let go. He glared at me through gritted teeth. You really won't cry until you see the coffin, huh? Fine. Celia and I are having our wedding in a week. My uncle will be back in the country that day. You can come to witness it and let my uncle get a good look at how shameless this trash I threw away really is. As soon as Celia heard about the wedding, the joy on her face was impossible to hide. Sister, you wouldn't be afraid to come because you're afraid of being exposed, would you? I carefully put away the ring and replied coldly, Fine, I'll go. I hope you won't regret it. Stepping out of the private room, I paused at the door for a few minutes. Jason's friend sighed. Jason, did you mess things up? Why do I feel like something's off with Wendy? She can't really be getting married, can she? No way, she's just acting. Jason's tone was full of certainty. With her shameless attitude, it's nothing more than me snapping my fingers. Thinking of the calm look I had when I left, he nervously pressed his lips together. I've had enough of playing around. Once the wedding is over, I'll regain my memory. Then I'll complain, say I love her the most, and guarantee she'll come crawling back like a dog. No wonder they say Jason is amazing. With one move amnesia. Not only did he enjoy 5 years of freedom outside, but he also made Wendy wait for him without any regrets for 5 years. Celia pouted. Jason, now that you've regained your memory, what am I supposed to do? Jason pinched his waist. Whatever it was before, it'll be the same from now on. Besides, where's the thrill in an open affair? I listened quietly until the end, a cold chill spreading through my heart. I hurried to the hotel entrance, took several deep breaths before swallowing the nausea. Jason didn't know that on the night he died in a car accident 5 years ago, I received a video. Opening my phone, his voice carried. I love Wendy, but she's too dull. Just thinking about having only her as the woman after marriage makes me feel utterly bored. I'll fake my death and go out to play for a few years, then come back claiming amnesia. Remember to record plenty of videos of her desperate and miserable moments. I can't wait to see how heartbroken she is for me. On the day the doctor declared him dead, I truly fulfilled his wish. The kind of despair as if the sky had fallen, left me unable to even cry. I thought about dying together, but it was his good brothers who desperately stopped me. I didn't notice at all that the phone in the shadows was recording my pain, nor did I realize that beneath the mask of false suffering, they were desperately enduring and mocking me. I put away my phone. From that day on, Jason's fake death meant he was truly dead to me. The news that Jason was not dead broke alongside his wedding, causing a huge uproar. That night, Celia updated her status. A romantic wedding scene, an exquisitely beautiful wedding. Adding dress, the one and only diamond ring of a lifetime. All of it was carefully prepared by Jason for me. Back then in the photo they held hands tightly, writing sticky love words. I glanced once and was about to exit when a message from Jason popped up. Are you about to go crazy with jealousy? I just deleted and blocked her. Celia's message popped up again. You saw it all, right? You're just a dog for our amusement only. I deserve to be Jason's wife. Without a word, I gave her the same treatment. A week later, the wedding went ahead as scheduled. Because my daughter was clinging to me, by the time I arrived at the hotel, the ceremony was already at the ring exchange. Jason frequently glanced toward the door, visibly relaxed. His brows furrowed when our eyes met. He smiled, and when the officiant asked if he was willing to marry the bride, he deliberately hesitated for half a beat, waiting for my response in vain. Seeing me calmly eating cake as if nothing was wrong, his entire face turned cold. I don't know who it was, but someone pushed me hard from behind. Caught off guard, I fell onto the nearby drinks counter. The champagne tower, taller than a person, crashed down with a roar. The drinks mixed with shards of glass all fell onto me. Blood trickled down from my temple, and with blurred vision, I seemed to see Jason anxiously taking 2 steps toward me, only to be cut off by Celia rushing out ahead. She clung to me tightly, crying with tears streaming down like pear blossoms in the rain. Sister, I sincerely invited you to my wedding. How could you deliberately cause trouble? I know you're jealous that Jason only loves me. Now you can hit me or scold me, but why destroy my happiness? Can't you just stand to see me doing well? Jason's eyes were full of anger. Are you some kind of leech? I don't even remember you, yet you still come crawling back. I've never seen such a shameless woman. Apologized to Celia. There were quite a few guests attending. Most of them came hoping Ethan would show up today. To please Jason, they started attacking me indiscriminately. Celia leaned against Jason's chest, pointing at me in panic. Sister, I already told you that second uncle would be here today. How dare you bring this fake one true love of your life? You say you love Jason, but in your heart, you're trying to seduce second uncle, aren't you? The banquet hall doors were suddenly pushed open. Ethan strode in, surrounded by a crowd. He was holding a delicate little girl in his arms, who eagerly looked around the moment they entered the hall as if searching for something. Daddy, put me down quickly. I want to find Mommy. She said she would come here today. She said. The usually cold man crouched down, set her on the ground, and smiled as he gently ruffled her little head. The bodyguards following behind immediately stood guard closely behind the little girl. Everyone present realized that the little girl before them was the legendary precious daughter Ethan had kept hidden for 4 years. Game over today as well. Those with insight have already secretly started calling to prepare gifts. Everyone knows that Mrs. Ethan is Ethan's bottom line. As long as you can win her smile, what cooperation can't be secured? Celia squeezed through the crowd, grabbed a handful of candy from the table, and offered it with a flattering smile. Sweetie, you're so cute. Auntie likes you very much. Please have some candy. The little girl frowned and glanced at her, then immediately pouted. Mom said I can't eat things from strangers, and besides, you smile like a human trafficker. I don't like you. Celia was publicly humiliated, so angry she could have died. But unable to lash out, she forced a stiff smile and tried to say something, but Jason pulled her aside. He looked at Ethan, his tone unconsciously respectful. Second uncle, you came, and little cousin is here too. But why isn't Aunt here? She came early, so what? Didn't you see her? Jason was dumbfounded. What did it mean that he didn't see her? Just as he was puzzled, the little girl's clear voice rang out. Mom said when she left home that she was going to attend an old friend's wedding. Don't you even recognize your own old friend? You have less memory than a little kid like me. I just glanced at the family photo and knew you were that cousin who died and came back to life. You didn't die, so why did you only say you were still alive 5 years later? You're such a grown-up, yet not as honest as Mia. You lied for 5 years, aren't you ashamed? Aren't you getting married today? Can you help me find where my mom is? Jason looked embarrassed. Before he could react, he heard Celia quickly say, Baby, we didn't see your mom, but there's a bad woman here pretending to be your mom. Not only is she impersonating your mom, she's also faking a wedding ring like your mom's, trying to seduce your dad. As soon as those words came out, Ethan's face immediately turned cold. Seeing him get angry, Celia got even more fired up. Second uncle, you have no idea how disgusting this woman is. A few days ago, she was wearing a counterfeit wedding ring just like the one you gave to Auntie. I already warned her your heart belongs only to Auntie, but she still claims her husband is you. She's really shameless. Jason frowned hearing Celia's words. He felt something was off and thought she was meddling unnecessarily. He wanted to pull her away, but Ethan smiled, his cold voice sending chills down their spines. Well then, tell me, who is this shameless woman? She is Jason's ex-fiancée, my sister Wendy. As soon as the words fell, everyone following Ethan's lead changed their expressions drastically. But Celia didn't notice anything unusual and smugly said, Jason lost his memory and now only loves me. She went to Jason and my wedding trying to cause trouble, saying she only loves Jason, yet she wore fake wedding rings from you and Aunt. Isn't this clearly trying to seduce you? A toad wanting to eat swan meat. Although she is my sister, I have always known she is fickle, malicious, and extremely jealous. She bullied me a lot when we were at home. And I endured all that, but I cannot tolerate her pretending to be the person you love most. Ethan's face turned extremely ugly. Celia thought he was angry because of me and wanted to add fuel to the fire. Finally sensing something was wrong, Jason quickly stopped her and shouted darkly, Shut up! The aunt who arrived first was actually someone he personally invited to the event. The only exception was me and Mia's face. A small face that resembled mine by 7 or 8 points. An absurd yet unbelievable guess gradually took shape in my mind. Jason's chest felt as if it was being pulled by an invisible force, growing heavier and more intense. No way. Find someone immediately. Ethan rubbed his brow, his expression growing increasingly grim. Although Mia was little, she had always been very smart. She heard the earlier conversation and after realizing what was happening, She cried out fearfully, "Mommy! I want Mommy!" Ethan crouched down and held her in his arms. "Second uncle, we can't find Aunt. Let me comfort the child first. I'm good at soothing kids." Just as Celia reached out her hand to Mia, her eyes red from crying, she shouted loudly, "Go away, you bad woman! You insulted my mother. I'm going to have the police arrest you." A simple sentence left everyone present frozen in place, all looking at Mia in disbelief. Celia had only insulted one person moments ago. Almost simultaneously, all the guests present stepped back several meters from Celia, afraid to have any connection with her. Celia stared in shock, her face visibly paling. The assistant parted the crowd. "Sir, madam is here." I was left in the corner, unconscious, blood flowing everywhere from my unbandaged hand. Ethan crouched down, his fingertips hovering over my eerily pale face for a few seconds, not daring to touch me. The assistant spoke cautiously, "Sir, the emergency call has already been made." He nodded, took off his suit jacket carefully, and draped it over me. Then he looked up, his face raging with cold fury. "Good. You even dare to bully my wife." His face was calm, yet the entire banquet hall seemed to drop several degrees. Jason's face was pale, his eyes filled with disbelief and an unbearable collapse. "Second uncle, you must be lying. How could Wendy possibly be the aunt? It has to be fake. What exactly did she promise you that even you are willing to play along with her?" The assistant couldn't stand it. "Jason, do you really think there's anyone in this world who would have the gentleman play along? Stop deceiving yourself. Our Lady is the woman right in front of you. Instead of worrying about her identity, you should worry about yourself since you have hurt her so much. Think about how to make amends." Seeing me being treated like a treasure by Ethan, Celia's jealousy poisoned her heart, overflowing wildly. Without a second thought, slanderous words slipped out. "Second uncle, you must not be fooled by that bitch Wendy. You don't know she is the best at acting pitiful. Fooled by her innocent appearance, deep down she is vicious and promiscuous. When she was at home, she often brought different men back, filthy to the extreme." Before he finished speaking, a slap landed hard on her face. Jason's eyes were bloodshot. "Wendy is not that kind of person at all. It's you, you bitch, who is jealous of her and have been slandering her." It was as if he suddenly came to his senses. His eyes scanned the crowd, and he saw the person who had just pushed me in the crowd was preparing to sneak away. He grabbed a bottle and smashed it hard on that person's head. Facing the furious Jason, the man, bleeding profusely, didn't even care and knelt on the ground, begging for mercy. "Jason, it's not my fault. Celia told me to say it just to cause panic among everyone. She gave me 100,000 yuan. It really has nothing to do with me." "What nonsense are you talking about? I don't even know you." When the truth was exposed, Celia frantically tried to distance herself, but her guilty and nervous eyes had already betrayed her. The man knelt before Ethan, crawling and rolling repeatedly, kowtowing. "Mr. Ethan, I was wrong. I really was wrong. Please spare me. I don't want the 100,000. This matter really has nothing to do with me. It was all Celia's doing. You must know Wendy is your wife. Even if I had 100 guts, I wouldn't dare lay a finger on her." Ethan sneered coldly. "So you mean if she weren't my wife, you'd have bullied her?" "No, no, no. That's not what I meant." Ethan had no mood to listen further. He looked up, and a few bodyguards immediately covered the man's mouth and dragged him out, pulling and tugging. The assistant hurried over. "Sir, the ambulance is outside the door." Only then did he pick up the dazed me, his gaze sweeping over the banquet hall as if looking at a pile of lifeless objects. He said to the assistant, "You stay and handle this. Let everyone know the price of bullying your wife." The banquet hall doors were shut, and a row of bodyguards stood like a mountain in formation. Not a single person who came in today would leave intact. When I woke up again, there was a fierce argument outside the door. Then the hospital room door was forcefully kicked open. Jason, still wearing his groom's suit from the wedding banquet, rushed in, filthy all over. He held a patched-up talisman in his hand, looking at me with deep affection. "Wendy, I've regained my memory. I remember everything. I'm sorry. It's all my fault for making you suffer so much. Rest assured I'm back, and I will never leave you again." My calm gaze lingered on his face for a moment before settling on the talisman in his hand. That talisman was from the day of the car accident 5 years ago when he was on the brink of death. Step by step, despite my severe injuries, I climbed 9,000 steps just to pray for a sliver of hope for him. I clutched the talisman I had prayed for, fainting on the mountain path, near death several times. But he died, and the talisman was treated as a joke. Him torn into shreds in a video. It was hard to find it again, and I even pieced it back together. Jason, stop pretending. I know you didn't lose your memory. I knew it the day you faked your death in the car accident 5 years ago. Jason's gaze froze, shifting from deep affection to panic. Helplessly pulling at his hair, he broke down. And so you deliberately married my younger brother just to spite me? To take revenge on me, right? I'm not you. I looked him straight in the eyes. I've fallen in love with him. Jason almost fled in panic. I thought I had made myself clear, but a week after being discharged, I saw him again at the hospital entrance. He seemed to have been waiting for a long time. When he saw me, he rushed over excitedly, but before he could even touch the hem of my clothes, Ethan kicked him away. He staggered to his feet, his fiery eyes glaring angrily at Ethan. You despicable scoundrel! You were the one who sent the video from 5 years ago to Wendy. You did it on purpose! He cried out uncontrollably. Wendy, Ethan isn't sincere with you. He's been scheming against you all along. You've been deceived by him. I furrowed my brows slightly and walked toward him. As hope flickered in his eyes, I slapped him hard across the face. Does it matter who sent the video? Was your fake death not real? Was the amnesia lie not true? Was messing around with Celia not true? Jason, I'll say this to you one last time. What we had ended 5 years ago. The person I love now is Ethan, and the only one I will love in the future is him. From now on, I am your little aunt. Watch your words and don't make a fool of the Jiang family. After saying that, I didn't look at him again. Instead, I took Ethan's tense hand in mine and gently squeezed it to comfort him. The man's clenched jaw instantly relaxed. The next time I heard news about Jason was 2 months later. He was paralyzed and would have to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair to obtain a marriage charm from me. He retraced the path I once took. He climbed up 9,000 steps. But on the way down, his legs gave out and he tumbled all the way down. The forest was silent, and by the time he was found, the best time for treatment had already passed. I heard that on the way to the hospital. His palms bled from clutching the marriage charm, but he never let go. He kept saying, "My Wendy is waiting for me. We promised never to be apart for life." I didn't take it seriously, nor did I have time to care because I was in the middle of taking a family photo. When Ethan wrapped his arm around my waist to take the picture, he said with a sour feeling, "Heartbroken." I chuckled softly. I'm more heartbroken for someone who's had a secret crush for 7 years but never dared to say it. He turned his head awkwardly, but his arms held me even tighter. Seeing this, our daughter persistently squeezed in. "Daddy, Mommy, Mia wants kisses and hugs too." Ethan smiled, holding one in each hand. Because the group effect was so good, the studio wanted us to keep a photo as their signature. Who is usually low-key. Agreed. On the way back through the speeding car window, I saw Celia rolling in a corner, being beaten by a group. She was shouting incoherently, "I am Jason's wife, you trash. You don't even deserve to carry my shoes." I covered my daughter's ears, and the man beside me reached out and covered mine. Looking at his red and deer tips, I couldn't help but recall the diary I had accidentally discovered. I fell in love with a girl who is Jason's fiancée. Jason cheated, faking his death and amnesia to play around for a few more years. I know my chance has come,